Just getting into this game here, I'll start with our captains. Sheldon Evans is a captain again for this week, for the second week in a row. Done a tremendous job. Will Almer will be our other offensive captain. Kobe Cumberlander is a guy that our defense wants as a captain, just plays extremely hard, has done a great job with the leadership, and excited for him, watching his maturity and the growth that he's had. And then our final captain is Beckett again this week, who played extremely well last week. So those guys, it's going to be important that those guys, along with everybody else with the caliber team we've got coming in here, that provide great leadership. And as you all did, I just found out that we're on CBS, and that's a great deal for our program, just like the ESPN was a couple weeks ago with Eastern Kentucky, because anytime you can have that kind of exposure, it's huge. It's huge for recruiting. It's huge for Marshall University, our fan base, our community, and I know our players will be excited, and our fans will be excited. It's going to be a great opportunity for us.
Doc, how'd you see that the Charlotte Appalachian State game? What'd you see out there?
Well, I think number one, I saw App State's a tremendous team. I mean, it starts anytime you've won as many games as they've won, conference championships, bowl games, et cetera. It starts with their quarterback, Thomas. I mean, that's where it all starts. When you win that many games and won a championships they won recently, it starts at the quarterback position. He's tremendous, provides great leadership for him. You can tell by the way you watch him play. And he's surrounded by, 4 senior offensive linemen. They're all back. They got 6 or 8 all-conference returnees on offense, same thing on defense. And, you just see a talented football team that's, extremely well coached and tough. And, Sean's done a great job with them. So, we're expecting the battle, and we're excited to play.
Doc, did it change the guys' attitudes? I mean, ESPN obviously is great exposure, but to be on one of the big 3 networks in the main game in the afternoon, does that change the psyche of your team a little bit at all?
Well, I hope it doesn't change the psyche of the team. I mean, just having the opportunity to play a great team coming in here, that should be enough. But, it's just added. I mean, a lot of these kids' families can't see them play at this point, especially grandparents and a lot of other relatives that can't make it to games for obvious reasons. And I think just gives them an opportunity to, for everybody to have a chance to watch them play. And I know they'll be excited about that.
Doc, you look at that rushing attack. You mentioned the 4 offensive linemen that Abbey State has returning, and that rushing attack didn't even matter who they put in there. They had 3 backs go for near 300 yards. What did you see from that rushing attack that you all got to hone in on this week?
Well, it starts up front. I mean, they do a great job with this outside stretch play, and do a great, they just do, they're so well coached. They do a tremendous job of cutting off the backside of that. And those backs just do a great job of stretching it and finding that crease and getting north-south. And as you mentioned, anytime you rush for over 300 yards, that's a heck of a day. And they starts up front. And then when you got excellent backs you can hand that ball to, then it creates a problem for us. So that's something we got to work on. And, at the end of the day, you got to be able to stop the run at some point. You have no chance of winning.
When you look at those backs, you all have seen teams that have 1 back or 2 backs before. Have you all had to go against a team that has 3 backs that gets so evenly matched carries? I mean, it looked like they were 15, 14, and 13 down the line.
Well, and the back they had a year ago is in the NFL right now, so, they've had tremendous backs there and do a great job recruiting those guys. And like us, I mean, I feel like we got 3 or 4 really good backs as well. So, when you can have that type of backs in that running back room that we do and they have, then it creates problems for people. So I'm hoping our backs and, our offensive line are senior guys as well. So it'll be kind of strength on strength, not strength on strength, but our offense is very similar to theirs as far as our offensive line. I think we have good backs as well. And it's going to be hopefully a great challenge for both defenses.
Doc, you saw what the Sun Belt did last week to the Big 12 with the number of teams that are playing. I mean, and now this broadcast opportunity. I mean, lots of schools are getting chances to show themselves that maybe wouldn't get that chance otherwise in past years. Is that something not lost on you and your team to go out and make a statement?
Well, I don't think there's any question, because there are some people out there that aren't playing that, we're getting some opportunities that we probably wouldn't have had on a national stage. And, it's one thing to get those opportunities, another thing to take advantage of them and be prepared and go take care, be able to handle it and go play really well. So, we got that opportunity now. Now it's important this week that we have a great week of preparation. So when that ball hits the tee, the foot hits the ball at 3 o'clock or 3:30 on Saturday, we're ready to go.
You look at this opportunity And, we know this past week you guys received some AP votes. They're number 23. Do you feel like you get the chance to play the Giant Slayer and maybe upset a team that's coming in nationally ranked?
Well, anytime you get that, it's a great opportunity for us, and anytime you get the opportunity to play a team like that, that's a great challenge for us and, one that we look forward to.
Does it have any extra motivation knowing that you have this chance to, like I said, unseat a team that's nationally ranked and people know about and look up to?
Well, I think anytime, with what's going on out there right now, anytime you get a chance to play a game, I'd be excited about playing. We worked extremely hard to, to play, get a chance to, open up a couple of weeks ago and play one game. Now we got a chance to play two. And, I think with the situation, just look around what's happening around the country right now of all the, BYU, there's been a ton of games that have been canceled. So, it's just exciting for our players to have that opportunity to go play again. And, fortunately for us, it's on a national stage against an excellent football team. So it's a great opportunity. And, I think any team in the country right now, when you get that opportunity to play, is going to be excited about getting the opportunity to do that.
Coach, Tony Peterson's coming in. Obviously, he did great things for your program. You know how successful he's been in the college coaching ranks. Is that odd to be able that you'll see him on the other side of the stadium on Saturday?
Well, Tony's an excellent coach. He does a tremendous job wherever he's been. Of course, he worked for me here for a couple of years, and he's been successful wherever he's been. He's an excellent player here at Marshall, a tremendous quarterback. So, end of the day, he's like I said, he's been successful wherever he's been. Sean, right down the road there from George Washington High School, there's a lot of ties there at Appalachian State with people here in Huntington and Marshall University. So, end of the day, when that ball kicks off, we're trying to play well, and they're trying to play well, and all that kind of goes out the window.
What have you been able to work on in that open week? Or where, I know it's not off because you guys are working, but just to shore things up. And is that now look like an opportune time to kind of have a break? I know you didn't want it at the time, but is it okay now?
I don't know, Keith. We just got. I think when and you know what? After this one, we got more open dates. It just seems like the schedule this year has been so unconventional, and things have had to change. And you never like an open date that early, but you know what? There's not much you can do about it. I think you go back to what I said early on. The first press conference we had was we have to control what we can control, and what we could control last week was working to try to get better as a football team every day, and work on the things that we need to work on and get better at things. And at the end of the day, we started. Whenever you have an open date like that, it kind of gives you an extra day. Of course, we prepared. You start preparing for them, for App a little bit last week, but gave us the opportunity to have a Tuesday practice yesterday afternoon, and today will be a Wednesday practice for us. So it gets us an extra day game week of preparation, and against an excellent team like we're getting ready to go play. That's an important thing to have that extra time.
Doc, you look at Appy State's defense, and that secondary's got a couple guys that could be next level too. Sean Jolly and I think Gene Charles had a pretty good game for them last week too. What have you seen out of Appy State from the defensive side that is going to challenge Grant this weekend? Well,
they got 7 preseason all-conference players back, so on that defense. And Jolly, you mentioned he's a first-team All-American candidate. Like I say, he's probably going to be a first, second-round draft pick. So he's an excellent player. And when you watch him in that secondary, they got athletes back there at every position, just like up front. That DN number 9, Taylor, he's an excellent player from down in Miami there, and he's a problem as well. So, like I say, they're obviously with the success they've had, it starts with playing great defense, and they do that. And like I said, they got athletes all over the field. I think they got 3 guys that were on that team a year ago that were drafted in the NFL. So they've done a great job recruiting. They got good players.
What do you want to see from Grant? I know that the first game to the second game, there's normally a lot of improvement there. What do you want to see from Grant the most? I know that the EKU win looked really clean, but obviously there's some things that you all would like to see improve.
Well, I think number one, just continue do what we did against EKU and take care of the ball. Number one, take care of the ball and don't have any turnovers. That's where it all starts, and then just keep growing as a quarterback. Just keep doing what he did, make great decisions. Take what the defense gives you and just continue to run the offense the way we're asking him to run the offense. And, he's had a couple more weeks under his belt, and we expect him to do that.
Coach, a lot of your players watched the game in real time on Saturday. Is there a benefit to doing that, just to seeing the team you're playing next at game speed instead of being able to kind of stop the tape, rewind it, and just maybe get a feel for how fast they play as it happens?
I don't think there's any question. Yeah, I know our guys, they got to sit back on Saturdays. We practiced early Saturday morning so they could get out and watch, in time to watch that game at noon. So you got a chance to watch them play against a team they're aware of with Charlotte. So get an idea of, a little bit about the players. But, when you actually get in meetings and have an opportunity to watch the tape and slow it down and run it back and all that kind of thing, they probably get a lot more out of it sitting there with a coach watching it. But that being said, it gave them something to do on Saturday afternoon, which was good.
If there was one thing about Appy State that they struggled with the other day, it was some mistakes, some turnovers, and things like that. Is this a game in particular where whenever you all get one of those mistakes, you've got to take full advantage and make sure you get 7 out of it?
Well, normally, anytime you play a big time game, against an excellent football team, it's normally going to come down to turnovers on who wins and loses that game for App. But it tells you a little bit about how good they are. Is they were able to overcome all those turnovers and still win the game handily. So they're an excellent football team that normally they do a great job of taking care of the ball. That's who they are, and that's why they are where they are. And there's no question when you get into a game of this magnitude that's going to be here on Saturday, that's the team that takes care of the ball is probably going to have a chance of winning it.